Hello everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. This video is a clip from Tuesday night's podcast. Remember, we are live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. for the Magpie Channel podcast. We're going to be having some big special guests on soon, so make sure you tune in for those episodes. You can find our podcast on all audio platforms as well, so your Spotify's, your Apple's, your Google, wherever you listen to your podcast, we will be there. Just search for the Magpie Channel. As always, really want to hear your thoughts on today's topic, so make sure you drop them in the comments below. Subscribe to the Magpie Channel TV and enjoy it.
Next up, yesterday, some strong transfer rumours.
Oh, yes.
Newcastle United's number one target this summer, Morgan Gibbs-White from Nottingham Forest. Now, big fee branded about for him though. There's talk of 60 million, maybe 40, 50 million. Definitely north of 40 million for me because he's English, he's versatile.
But that's about what they spent as well. Like
Exactly,
they spent big bags
So
on
we're talking, are we being naive there? Like, people are with these at?
Oh, 100%.
Because if I'm seeing 40, 50, but there'll be Forest fans watching thinking, oh, we pay that money, he's worth 80.
No, yeah, it probably is the exact same situation as the Isaac situation. Like, I thought Forest were absolutely insane and probably why they've had a points deduction. But Gibbs-White was young with a lot of potential at Wolves, and I thought he was a decent player. But when I found out they were selling at the Forest for, I think it was 40, maybe 45 million, like I was thinking, what in the inflation is going on here? Like, that is just mad money for a kid that's probably only played half a dozen Premier League games. Like, I didn't even know how much he played at Wolves. Like, I don't know how good he was at Wolves. Like, I know he was this prospect, but for that much money, I was thinking, these are insane. Like, you deserve your points deduction. But he has been class.
So they spent on Wood, I suppose. Like.
And he has been class, and yeah, they're not going to sell him for less. They're not going to take a hit on him. They're going to want to make profit. So I can't remember what it was. It was either 40 or 45. I'm not sure, but they'll want at least 60.
Oh, at least that.
Yeah, they're not going to move off 60 million.
60 plus add-ons might do it because they need the cash. That's what's going to
work
in our favour.
Yeah.
Because of FFP, they need to make profits, don't they? So if you can get him, listen, it's a lot of money, obviously. But when you look at it, the English tax and what I really like about Morgan Gibbs-White, and Eddie Howe loves this, he says it all the time about players that can do dual roles, so multiple positions. Gibbs-White can do that. You could see him play on the right wing for us. You could see him play as a 10.
That's what I was thinking, like, because we've got a lot of players who could play in a 10, but we don't really play with a 10.
Exactly, yeah.
So
that's why the James Madison thing never came.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I think 10 is probably his best position. And for the under 21s, like, he played like as a striker with Gordon, which makes no fucking sense because neither one was a striker.
But we won the tournament. That's what we'll do next year.
But yeah, like I don't know where he would fit because we don't play with a 10.
No.
So yeah, he'd have to play on a wing. And is he a good winger?
Nah.
If you're gonna spunk 60 million on him, you're gonna want him to fit with your system.
You want him to be ready there pre-season going in it, whereas he probably need time on the training ground, work it out.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like him as a player.
He's a top player.
He's a top player. But if we're gonna try and play him out of position or force him to play a position, like I'd rather spend 60 million on someone who can't play the position and doesn't need time to develop it. So.
And who's ready to slot in.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a tricky one because I do get excited by Gibbs-White. He's Premier League proven now.
Yeah. He's still young now. He was
so
22 or something.
Obviously, I even did that under 21 Euros. But he's got everything to give for me. He's got so much more. I think Eddie Howe would obviously get the best out of him, development. Look what he's done with Gordon.
Even maybe he's like a centre mid, like in sort of like an attacking. If you play like centre mid as one of the three, but sort of like a more pushing one,
and that 6 sort of thing. I
think 6 is a big priority for me. I think that could work if you played the 6 with say Gibbs-White and Bruno. The dynamic could work because there are 3 different types of players instead of having like 3 similar ones. Like so, yeah. If you had him as a centre mid, but had him just push on and play like sort of like a false 10, if you like, then. Maybe that could work, but I don't know. I'm not so sure where he would fit best.
I think when he does leave and he goes somewhere else, I think we'll see the best of him then, and I think you'll probably look and be like, we wish I had signed him. Because when you said Forest signed him for Wolves, it was a bit, that's a bit of a leap of faith type of thing. To work out a treat because he's easily worth that much money.
Oh yeah, I thought it was an insane price tag for a relatively unproven player with a lot of potential. But like kind of credit the Forest for spending this, like credit sort of where it's due because you're getting points deduction for spending mad money. But yeah, it's paid off for them, and obviously that probably going to have to sell him because of their financial troubles.
Definitely, especially if they get relegated. Strong possibility.
Well, if not this year, then maybe it's next year. Like they're gonna have to sort of like recouping some of that money because they did overly spend. Like they spent like 24 signings or something in the summer that they came up or something. Like absolutely insane.
At least, aye.
So yeah, they're gonna have to sell them sooner or later. Sooner the better, I suppose. And if another Premier League or other foreign team, top tier team comes along and wants them for 60 million, and they're not really in a position to haggle too much. Like you can't say, "Oh no, I want 80." Like, you get fucking 60 and make do with it.
Exactly. I think they're going to have to really take that. Like, that's what I mentioned.
And even so, it's still about £20 million of profit.
Yeah, exactly. Which is good for FFP. But Morgan Gibbs-White, this was from the Mirror, I think it was. And for me, I don't believe that it's our number one transfer target. Because it's not a priority position. Because
of his position, like I say, he's best as a number 10, which we don't play, and we've got other needs. So nah, I don't believe that. I think that's just media shite, to be honest with you. Like right wing, number 6, left back, backup options at centre back and striker.
Keeper. I think
potentially keeper, centre, backup. Maybe starting centre backs, let alone backup centre backs. But
we need one starting centre back.
Yeah,
bottom of the cells.
The starter and a backup. Yeah.
So I'd be in favour of it, but it all depends on what else we do because, well, it just says that I think the priority lies
depends
elsewhere.
on phase if the FFP rules change. Like, that's been confirmed yet, so we could be in the same position. Like, make him our Tonali. In the summer, we've got a 80, £100 million budget, and we've spent 60 million of it on Gibbs-White, and we're back square one. Like, we haven't covered any of the positions that we need.
It sounds actually right. This is what we'll do. This is exactly what we'll do because that's what we did last year. Highbury, Lewis Hall, fullbacks. Not even going to game.
Wait, we're going to have to pay $28 million on hold, no?
Exactly, so that's coming out.
That's been confirmed.
So I would love to see Gibbs-White in Newcastle shirt. I think he's a top talent, but I'm just not sure if it's a priority, if you like. But
not a high priority.
I think you'd be great to watch to see James, him, Gordon, playing balls through to ease that as well. Be exciting.
Yeah. Big thing.
Last one to touch on is Lloyd Kelly, who seems set to sign for Newcastle United. We are the favourites to get his signature. He's recently turned down a contract extension at Bournemouth, so he wants to move. We are battling off competitors from all over Europe, apparently, especially even like Spurs and that. So Lloyd Kelly on a free from Bournemouth. Obviously, Eddie Howe will know him well. He's a left back, can play centre back as well, so that works perfectly for the problems that we're going to have with the injuries to Botman and Lascelles. So Lloyd Kelly to Newcastle. Are you saying yes? Are you saying no?
I'm saying yes because it's free.
Wrong.
He's coming out of contract, so yeah. And
next big bargain. Next show.
He fills potentially 2 voids there. Like, I don't know what his best position is, if he's a left back or a centre back. Like, he's kind of like
left back mainly.
It's kind of like the opposite of Dan Burn. Like, Dan Burn's a centre back who can play left back, and Lloyd Kelly's a left back who can play centre back.
You know, he does. Kelly again looks a bit more like a centre back now. He's quite tall.
Yeah, that's
what a great cross on him. Good cross on him though.
So yeah, I would take it because, as I just said, we need depth at centre back. So if he's going to come in and be a number 2 centre back, or I don't know, is he starting at left back? Does he come in and be a number 1 from day one? Or, I think he's good enough.
I want Lewis Hall to be.
I think he's good enough and young enough as option. As we say, we need backup, we need strength and depth. Like, I think people get too carried away talking about starting 11s. Like, oh, would you sign him? Oh no, because he's not better than blah blah blah. But you need a deep squad, especially if we're going to play in the Europa League. Like, we've had this problem this season, our squad hasn't been good enough, or deep enough at least. Anyway, both strength and depth. We haven't had neither of them really.
Exactly.
So we need to beef up the squad with better players. Another left back / centre back is Paul Dummett.
Dum,
who's coming out of contract. Is he better than Paul Dummett? Of course he fucking is.
Yes, he is.
Is he an upgrade on Dummett? Yes.
Matt Ritchie.
Potentially, well, obviously, Berners a left back.
Target's forever injured now.
So I think he's an upgrade on a lot of the players that we've got. Is he starting 11 quality? Maybe. Time's to be proven. Like, he's still quite, I think he's about 24 or something.
He's that's what I mean. He's still got a lot of time.
Yeah, and especially on a free deal that's not going to cost a ton in FFP damage. Yeah, absolutely. Get him in. And like say, the familiarity with Eddie Howe's a big thing, you know. Like, Eddie Howe wouldn't bring in someone who he either doesn't like or doesn't think can fit his system. So, yeah, all the thumbs up.
You beat us to it with what I was going to say with the Dummett thing, because I was going to propose this to everyone where, you know, a lot of people talk about getting rid of the Deadwood, the same players have been here for so many years, you know, your Dummets, your Haydens, your Richies, and then you get given a Premier League proven player who who's still got some good years ahead of him.
Oh yeah.
Who's versatile, on a free, and people are like, nah, they want him.
Literally,
they want him.
Why not?
Nah. He's called Lloyd, and he's from Bournemouth. Not having it.
Unless you're going to put him on a 300 grand a week contract or something. Like, what have you got to complain about?
I think it's mad because
the negatives.
Now this is the perfect scenario of getting rid of Deadwood and not battering your FFP.
Like, familiarity is a big thing and all. Like I say, he knows Eddie Howe, and Eddie Howe knows him, and
it's not even a risk.
You wouldn't bring him in just to think, oh well, should we just get him? Should we?
Or
remember Lloyd from fucking 2012?
Aye, Lloyd's a good lad, isn't he? Nice lad, Lloyd.
Like Eddie Howe wouldn't do that. So if Eddie Howe wants him and he's free, fills a void, why not?
It's risk free and it gets
really
rid of a Dummett and bringing a Kelly. It's an upgrade. He's a young guy. He's better.
Yeah.
Makes sense for me. His wages probably wouldn't be that much because Josh from Philly there is asking what do you think his wages would be. I've no idea what he's on at Bournemouth.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Is it?
Yeah, like you wouldn't want to bring him in if he's going to demand like 80 grand. Like I don't think you.
Which when players are free, they try and take.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like sometimes, like because you can kind of balance out the books a little bit. Like
sign-on fee.
Who did Fraser? Brian Fraser was on a massive wage because we got him for free.
70 grand or something, 75 grand.
So sometimes that can play out. So if we're gonna be putting him on like a 80 grand a week contract, then I'd probably say no, depending on what his potential could be. Like if he's gonna become a starter and someone who's gonna be worth selling in a few years' time for 40-50 million, then fucking give him whatever contract he wants. But right now, you offer him, I don't know, 50, 60 at most.
Yeah, that'll do the deal, I think.
Yeah.
Jay said he watched him against Man United. He looked like a Howe player. Neat, tidy, physical, bags of desire. Kelly's on 30 grand a week at Bournemouth. There you go, you can have 40 grand.
Yeah.
That's a 10 grand increase.
Put him anywhere between 40 to 60.
Yeah,
there you go. Absolutely. No, I wouldn't pay any more than 60 though.
Wilfred and Ndidi, get him signed. I think he's on a free from Leicester.
Is he?
Ndidi.
Yes, indeed. Yes, get him in. To be fair, isn't it?
Centre depth.
He's like a number 6, isn't he? Is he a number 6?
I would used to be, yeah. He's alright. I think we've got, when everyone's fit, we've got enough midfielders, haven't we? Longstaff, Maley, Willock, Anderson.
But if he's going to be that number 6, then yeah. But if I'd rather maybe pay money for someone good instead of like just picking up free agents.
Does he really improve you that much? Yeah. It's not bad. It's not the end of the world. But it's not like
I wouldn't be upset if I signed him. I wouldn't be like, what the fuck was I signing him for? He's shit. Yeah. It's strength and depth number. Yeah.
What about Mbeumo?
Mbeumo,
great player.
I like him. Yeah.
Versatile. That's an Eddie Howe saying.
Because he can be a striker or winger.
Play across the front three, scores goals.
Casey.
I like Mbeumo.
I don't like saying his name.
I don't know how to say that, but
I would never not said any other way.
Alright, that'll be the way it is.
It's like Ndueni.
Yeah, but Ndueni's on the way out.
I'm good about that.
I tell you what, that'll do